Hi traders, it's Ngoo. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. On social media, there's always an ongoing war between ICT traders and the so-called retail traders. Now, I'm actually going to classify myself as a retail trader because I've been trading retail concepts for a very, very long time. I got consistently profitable trading retail concepts. And I get the reason why retail traders, especially those who are actually profitable, might actually have something or have this beef with the ICT community, and I get it because for retail trading we are only giving very few data, like we are just giving very, very little information to work with: support, resistance, trend, supply, demand, candlestick patterns, and trend lines, indicators. Just very few concepts to actually work with. So you have to use those concepts, make those concepts make sense. So it's always very, very difficult to be profitable with retail concepts. Like, you need to really sit your ass down and work very hard, backtest a lot, and see how things play out before you can actually be profitable trading retail concepts. So it's actually it can be frustrating when you've actually sat down, did all the work, and get profitable trading with just this little information you are giving. And then suddenly someone just came on YouTube and started sharing some new informations, and people are actually getting profitable with it. It can be really frustrating. There could be some kind of hatred against them. So I actually get it because I was actually one of those that actually didn't like the ICT community, and I was always having a thing or two against them. But then in my trading, I got to a point where I was consolidating. So I was making a particular profit range, which is about 2% to about 4% every month. And fine, people could actually be like, 2 to 4% is actually a very good result. Now it depends. If you are trading a very large account, like $100,000, $1 million, 4%, 3%, 2% could actually be a lot. But now you are trying to get funded. You are just starting your trading journey. 2 to 4% might not just be enough. It's not just enough because funding companies want you to make at least 8% in a month. And this was the era where you have to trade 30 days to get funded. That's for phase 1, and 30 days for phase 2, 60 days for phase 2 rather. Unlike now where it's unlimited for the Profem challenges. But then you have 30 days to make 8% or 10%. And it's not easy. You making 2%, 3%, 4% in a month. How are you going to translate that into making 8%? You have to increase your risk. You have to probably blow a couple of accounts. It's very difficult. So I got to a point where I was consolidating in profits, and I realized that I needed to step up my game. And it was so frustrating because I tried. I have a year worth of track record where I kept trading and I was making the same profit, like 4%, 3%, 4%, 3% in a month. I didn't make more than, I didn't have any huge months, but I didn't have any losing months either, which is actually a positive. But with that low percentage gain, it's so difficult. The fact that you don't have huge months, how are you going to get funded and profitable with that low gain? So I was like, okay, I need to sit down. I need to do some things differently. I tried. With my retail concepts I knew, I tried my best. And then I couldn't make more than what I was making. So it's really, really frustrating. It got really, really frustrating. And I was like, I need to just see into, there's no harm in me trying to learn about ICT, because I see on social media a lot of traders actually doing wonders with this concept. And then I decided to dive into the ICT world. Fine, it was very difficult. It took me months to really backtest each concept I learned and made them work for me and then incorporate it in my strategy. It took a long time. But then I was able to learn this, learn that. And because I see the market from a retail point of view, like from the support resistance point of view, some concepts till today still don't make any sense to me, to be honest. I know there could be a group of people that will be like, well, that's your business, but that's just how it is. Some concepts don't make sense to me. Like, for example, when I started, I got introduced firstly fair value gaps, and I really enjoyed what it means, imbalances and all that. But then when I go on higher time frames, I look at fair value gaps and I see that most times they always retest levels on higher time frames. So probably if I'm looking at a fair value gap on the 15 minutes, I could go to the 30 minutes or the 1 hour. I see it's just probably price just trying to make a retest and there might be no gap, there might just be one single candle. So I was like, I'm not comfortable trading it. That doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't work. It works very well, because if you go back in time, you would see on the chart, price actually retest, cover up these imbalances. But then to me, it didn't really make too much sense, because I see price from a support resistance point of view. And then I look at things like, okay, liquidity sweeps. Okay, I look at even before learning ICT, I already knew time of the day, like time which I'm supposed to trade and time I'm not supposed to trade. I learned that from experience, okay? Because sometimes you look at the charts and it's just really slow, and I'm like, I'm not going to trade in these conditions. So these are things I already knew and figured out even before learning ICT, and then I just incorporated some of those concepts. So I looked at the breaker block, or whatever you guys call it. So for me, I've been using the breaker block, which is market structure shift, for years, even before knowing about ICT. That's something I just came up with. I just looked at the charts, like based on study, like high, lower, low type of shit, and I was like, it makes sense to trade. Okay, so I incorporated it in my strategy. So I used those things. I already used some concepts even before learning ICT. ICT just gave me that extra confidence, that boost, like, oh, these things work, because I see people using it and I know it works. And then I just added the things that made sense to me, that I resonated well with. I don't necessarily have to trade exactly how ICT himself trades. I just need to study what it teaches, because it's like an institution to me, and then incorporate the things that makes sense to me as a trader, because I've been profitable trading retail concepts before even going into this new world of ICT. And then I added these little things that I learned from ICT, and then my strategy just became so robust. Like, looking at the chart now, it just made so much sense. Like, before learning about ICT, I never could make more than 4% in a month. Like, it was almost impossible to me. I felt like it was not possible for you to make that amount, except you're going to risk so high. And then just my very first month of sitting down to properly trade, I made about 16%. About 16%, I could average 16%, I could make 12%. But there are months where I could make 2, 3, 4%. Like, that's just normal. Trading results are not always linear. Okay, but now I could actually have very huge months, which is something I could not have before. So for those who are actually looking at ICT and feeling like, oh, this is not something I need to go into, fine. Even if you are a retail trader, there's just so many things you learn from it. It's just so much concepts that you could add one or two things. You could add a lot of things. Depends on how intelligent you are and how you see the market. You don't have to trade it exactly the way the typical social media ICT trader trades it. No, there are different concepts. Add what makes sense to you. Incorporate it in your strategy. Our goal is to make money. It's not to be right in the market. I don't really care about being right or care about knowing where the direction of the market is going to. My goal is, if I take 10 trades, how many am I going to win? What's my risk to reward? How many trades I win is going to eat up my losses. So for example, if I take 10 trades, I want to win about 4 or 5. That's just a 50% win rate. And I know 5 trades, I'm taking like a 1 to 3. I'm making 50% of that 5 trades. And even if I take 5 losses, I'm making 10% in total. You get? So it's just so easy. My goal is to make money. It's not about being right in the market. Sometimes I look at the chart and I'm like, I don't care where this chart is going to. My goal is, I sit down, make my systematic analysis like I do every single day, and I take trades according to my plan. If I lose a trade, I come back the next day or look at the next opportunity. I take the exact same type of trade. Then if I lose it, I come back again. I win it, I'm in profit, because I trade mostly a 1 to 3 now. So that's just the way it is. So for those looking to dive into ICT, that's just what I'll tell you. Go into it. There's no harm in learning new things. Okay, just make sure whatever you feel you know that works well, don't just throw it away. Keep it. Learn what you can learn. Add to it. Make your strategy robust and just trade it from there. Okay. So for those looking to join my Telegram, the link will be in the video description. Subscribe, like, and see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.